All right, so welcome back to another edition of the Northern Nerd. And we are talking about Star Wars Rogue One. I am joined by...
I'm Ron.
And...
Hunter.
Joe.
And we're talking all spoilers, so if you are watching this, do not watch it if you have not watched the movie. I warn you.
We'll
now.
ruin it.
We are ruining it right the second.
We're pretty much going to talk about the whole movie from start to finish, so you want to turn it off if you haven't seen it.
All right. So first off, we did our non-spoiler review. If you want to go check that out, go back and check that out. But right now we're going to be talking a lot about what our thoughts of the actual movie were, some of the parts we loved the most, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start with Ron here.
Well, there was, at the beginning of the movie, it said a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and then they showed a planet. And then a couple hours later, the credits came on. And all that in between, that was my favorite part. I liked all that. That was really good. Just like awesome action from start to finish, and just like so much love thrown in there for the fans of the original trilogy and stuff that you got to see, and throwbacks and characters that you didn't expect to see that they did, and they did a great job with the CGI on. Like, wow. Like we were just talking before how many times in the movie that I was just like, oh my God, did you see that? Did you see who that was? Did you see who that was?
Yeah.
Oh, like, I'm sorry, the plot, I throw it out there right away before I forget, but when they're running in the crowd and the guy bumps into Jin, and it's the two guys from the cantina in episode 4, whatever, with the walrus face, and I lost it right there. I mean, that was worth my money right there to see that. That was wicked.
Yeah. I'm saying like the references that they throw out there there's tons of them. And I mean, yeah, it may be fan service, but I ate it up.
But I mean, people kind of call it fan service, but how do you not throw that in there when it's part of the universe, right?
It's true.
It's fantastic. It was great.
What they didn't do though is they didn't. Yeah, like obviously fan service. What they didn't do though is they didn't make it look like, or they didn't make it as if it's not supposed to be there. Like everything that they threw in, all the characters, the guys from the cantina, Tarkin, Leia, Vader, they threw these characters in meaningful ways that either developed the plot or didn't pull you or distract you away from what was going on in the movie. It was well thought out, and I appreciated that they didn't just like stick dude A here just because people want to see him.
It really did feel like a lot of that kind of stuff came organically.
That was
throughout the movie.
Very natural, and just extended, like, it's great. Like we were talking to last night after the movie. It's like, how many years did we wait to find out just kind of what happened in the beginning, what happened before all this, that it all started. Like,
how did they get the
so
plans?
angry?
Why is Vader on such a hunt?
Why is he so angry?
Yeah.
What do you think, buddy? I know you wanted to talk about your favorite part.
Well, at the end, like all these Death Troopers. Well, it's not quite the end. All these Death Troopers came in, and like the rebels were getting their butts kicked for a while, but then they got a plan and did it.
Yeah.
Well, one of the guys just got in and he shot all of them.
That guy was awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, I want to talk about the new characters, that we saw. They were fantastic. I thought Jin was a great hero for the story, and you get so much stuff, whatever. Everyone made such a big deal about Rey and having the female hero and stuff. That's one of the things I think that The Force Awakens did well, and I think that Rogue One did really well. Is it didn't matter that character was male or female or human or alien or whatever. It was a good character, and I really felt for the character, and was interested in what happened, and that was really great. And some of the other characters,
Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen's character was just awesome.
Wasn't he phenomenal?
Chirrut, was it Chirrut
There-
Imwe, or I think that's how it said.
even
Something like
even
that, yeah.
his humor throughout the movie was spot on as well.
Yeah.
If that guy isn't a major American action star like he has been in China after this movie, then I don't know
There's
what
no
will do it for
justice,
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like-
would really like to have seen him in more. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's more of his character. Just but he was really cool. Like, and he just portrayed that really that great Jedi mindset or whatever. Just and his humor was great when they threw the bag over.
When they
his
threw,
head.
yeah.
I'm
Are you kidding me? I'm blind.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic, and yeah, just his his trust in the Force, and I really like that character.
That's what I appreciated the most was
Yes.
how he's not a Force user, but it shows why the Jedi were so revered in that universe is because even though they themselves couldn't use the Force, they had absolute trust in it, and it showed that regular, average, well, amazing martial artists, but regular people who do put their trust in the Force as if it is a faith.
Yeah.
You know.
It would keep him safe, and it did. Like, he was quite a good character.
Yeah.
I quite liked him, and his buddy too, with the multiple shotgun there.
I really appreciated them diving a lot more into the finer details of the Star Wars universe, like going into the Kyber saber crystals.
Yes.
You don't get that in any of the other
Any of
movies.
the other movies, yeah.
And this one really put that out there. I found
Yeah,
quite
but
a
really
bit.
brought the real into the forefront of the story now, because it's what powered the weapon on the Death Star, right? Did we know that before? And nobody ever.
I think it was common knowledge.
Yeah, it was probably one of those things from Extended Universe that was explained that is now in that limbo because of DC, that whether they just because of Disney, whether they're like going to bring it in or not, or leave it hanging, who knows, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I really appreciated them going out, even stretching that further, right? Even though it's a Star Wars movie, right? It's a lot of hocus pocus. But a lot of it is still they try to explain some of that stuff, or just have it as that's the way things are.
Yeah. And I kind of always like that about Star Wars versus other franchises. It's like, it's more to me like, I like the fact that it's built on fantasy, it's built on imagination, where they have, that freedom to do that sort of thing. Whereas at other franchises, where they try and stick to harder science, that it's like, it's just different feeling for me when it comes to that. Like, I enjoy that fantasy aspect that Star Wars brings to it.
I like how they built on the Death Star mythos a little bit, and they didn't blow up a planet. They saved that and left that for Episode 4, where you see Alderaan destroyed. But I love how they showed that this is actually a precision weapon, destroying Jedi.
Yes.
Like, this thing doesn't just blow up planets. Like, it can pinpoint a city and just take that city out.
Yeah, like if they want something specifically destroyed,
They can do that.
they
as
can
well.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, and I appreciated that too, because like I say, we rushed right home afterwards and watched A New Hope to see that instant connection between the two, which is really cool. If you go see it, I recommend. Well, if you were watching this, you should have went to see it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
watch New Hope after, because it's really neat the way that it slides right in so perfectly. And if you keep an eye out, you can see lots of the things that are the same, like
the CG of the beam coming out of the Death Star looks
exactly
the same in both movies.
Yeah. But I liked the fact that they were smart about that in Rogue One, and that they just showed the precision accuracy, because they say in Episode 4, it's time to show the galaxy the full power of this weapon and destroy a whole planet, right?
Yeah.
Since they hadn't done that
Yeah.
before now, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and I really again, like, it's really setting up the rebellion as a whole as well, right?
Yeah, the beginning of it.
The beginning of the rebellion, and it really made it feel like they were trying to fight on a more political level for so long, but they weren't getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And at some point
Time
they
for
were going to
action.
have to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And it really puts that, here's that moment where we actually have to step out of what we're
and we got to just
what we're
put
doing,
it on the
and
line.
we got to put it on the line now.
And it was they got the volunteers that came. We're gonna do this, like, and it was it was interesting, because he explained, like, all of us have done some pretty bad things in the name of this alliance or rebellion, and like, but this is, we know this is the time that we got to step up. This is not the time to, to sit back and wait, right? And then I brought everybody into the fold, and like I said, once again, how it ties into New Hope, because right in the scroll it says, they just had their first victory, and they got the plans, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. The one thing I was sort of disappointed on for the movie was that they have this great TV show on right now, Star Wars Rebels. No ties,
No.
none.
And we looked, like, we actually paid attention.
I
I did
tried.
not see the ghost. Like, that little picture that it showed, I could not find it.
Did you see it? I didn't see it.
I didn't find it.
No.
I think someone photoshopped that.
No.
I looked for any sort of tie at all. Nothing.
I looked for a green Twi'lek, like for Hera or somebody, and I just
Yeah, I know there was nothing, and it would have been good for them to do it, but maybe that's more. Maybe that's more for the Rebels show advantage or whatever, just to not
if we get
tie
further,
them into any certain thing or whatever. Maybe they already have a vision for Rebels of what's going to happen to them. 'Cause-
Well, we were told that this is still part of the same universe, right?
Mhm.
Like it's still, this is how things are happening,
Yeah.
right? It's tied into the movie universe. So
I
I
don't know
would
if
have,
that's-
I would have appreciated something.
Is Rebels though the TV show Rebels? Isn't that like? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that like supposed to be like 15 years or so after Episode 3 kind of timeline? I didn't think it was quite as far along in the timeline as like New Hope or Rogue One would have been like.
No, I think it's not. I don't think it's that far off.
No, all right.
I don't think it's that far off.
something would have been cool, though. Even like a token or
Something or
picture.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they tied in a lot of the movies, right?
Yeah.
The later on movies. But what did you guys feel about Tarkin and his role?
I thought it was great or whatever. I thought it was neat to because it kind of, another again, it helps with transition into Episode 4 because, the director that built, we've never heard anything about him until this movie. And now we know why, because Tarkin, played his political or military move or whatever. Basically like, no, this is a military weapon and I'm military and I'm taking it over and get out of here. Like, I'm taking it over right now.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great. Like it was really, that was one of those moments. It was like, yeah, cool. And even though it was CGI, obviously, I thought it was really well done, that it wasn't off-putting.
Even the red, under the lids of his eyes, it was,
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah.
His voice,
Yeah.
everything. To me, the CG that they put into this movie was fantastic. It was spot on.
Yeah.
I did not appreciate, at one point I appreciated it, and then it kind of got really old really fast, was the way they flipped back and forth for the Y-wing bombers, the pilots like Hobby and all them. The stylized, they went back to that old style when they went to go see the actual pilots. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I liked it the first time I see it. I'm like, oh, that's a Hobby, or this is that guy. I'm like, that's awesome. And then it just gets really old really fast.
Yeah, because they can be more dynamic now, but they weren't. It was just that straight on little kind of window.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, it looked pretty cool the first couple times.
Yeah.
the first couple
yeah.
times I'm like, oh, that's so cool, but it really wears very
I
quickly.
appreciate the first one where it's like you see the guy fold forward as it explodes. I like that little touch, like in the
Some of
originals.
the 3D of it was just
Yeah.
mind blowing, especially with the ships.
Yeah,
they do really good there with the Star Destroyers passing and ships and the swoops and stuff. That was definitely good use of 3D. I like that because I'm not a big fan of 3D for for no reason. You know what I mean? Like how some movies just they throw stuff in your face or whatever. Just like, oh, we better do some 3D magic here. Like I like that organic 3D where you feel like you can reach out and touch something or you're right there.
where it's
moving,
actually it's meant that way, right?
So,
it's just giving you more depth than it is anything else.
You think they would learn something from the old cheesy 3D horror movies where there'd just be machetes coming at the screen and stuff,
Yeah.
But no, they definitely did awesome 3D in this movie. I quite enjoyed it. It's worth it. And just, it's just too bad that it's the only thing that I would say that I didn't like was that you kind of know for the most part what's going to happen.
Mhm.
You know, like you know they're going to get the plants, and you kind of know everybody's going to die. You know, because you don't know any of these people in the other movies. So you know, like as much as I like Jin and I like Captain Ando and all the new characters, you know, like you're all going to die though at some point. Like it's going to happen.
Mom
you kind of
Mothma,
knew
though.
it. Oh,
Like they didn't need to CG her because that
They-
person is her
wow.
identical lookalike.
Yeah, and I think that it was easier for them, like in the case, of course, with Leia, they threw in with the CGI, and with Tarkin, like with Mon Mothma, I think it was easier for them to find an actress that looked very similar, you know, that they did really good with, that could fill in the role, because in the original movies, her part wasn't that big.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I think it was easier for them to put an actress in that looked alike, whereas with Tarkin and with Leia, there's just no way you would have been able to place another actor in
Yeah,
there
you
because of
would
how
not-
essential they were to the story, right?
Yeah.
People wouldn't have bought it like at all. Like, and when I saw Leia in CG, like I first thought it was like maybe they overdid it a little bit, with her youth. But of course, again, we went and watched New Hope, and it's literally exactly the same. She was so young when we made the movie. Like, it was almost pretty much spot on, the CGI for showing how young she was, and yeah, it was actually pretty cool.
I think she showed up a little bright on
No,
that
right, yeah.
for the CG. But I mean, it's little picks like that, like it just doesn't matter.
If this is what we're picking apart, then,
Yeah.
then that I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I know.
That's exactly it. Yeah, like I said, if you guys will watch the non-spoiler review, I really loved the droid. I keep forgetting his name.
K2SO.
K2SO. I gotta remember that.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
His humor was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, the whole thing about the gun. It's like, how come she gets a blaster?
You know the probability of her using it on you?
Yeah,
It's high.
it's high. Yeah, I know. Right?
Really high.
Really high.
Yeah.
It's really high.
And then what was it when he was saying this? It's like there's a 25% chance that we're going to get killed, and then something else was said. He's like, now it's 35%.
Yeah.
And and of course when the classic line that he's like, I got a bad feeling. Like, shut up, don't say that.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, they cut him off before he
Every-
even finish it.
Everything he says is just gold.
It's really good. Yeah, I know. He was super funny, and I mean, and he went out like a hero, like a badass or whatever when he boom, boom, taking out those guys.
He's taking hits from everywhere, and he's just
and he's still talking to him and everything. Like, he was always a good character.
Yeah.
you really felt bad for him, like at the end there. I really did. Like every character had their moment, which was nice to see.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It wasn't just they all got killed in the massive explosion, right?
Yeah.
No, they all had their shining glory.
Yeah, they all did a little something, their little part or whatever for the rebellion.
Yeah, they all played their part,
This was
right?
the big one, right?
And in the non-spoiler one that we just did, like I mentioned before, when I watched New Hope as soon as we got home, like we keep saying, the one thing that we were talking about, like how campy and how ridiculous droids were in any movie before Star Wars, and then when you watch Star Wars and you see R2 and C-3PO, you really can feel the humanity within these cold machines at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing they really did well with this new droid is they showed his humanity.
Well, then, and Star Wars has always done that well with the droids, because like we were saying too, like, you know, with the time that the movie came out in the 70s with using the droids as characters, I mean, you know, he took a chance and he really was successful because that, you know, because right at the beginning you get that long stretch where it's just the droids that are maintaining the screen.
Yeah.
And it could have really went sideways on him, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? With all
absolutely.
like the really badly done cheesy robots from the 70s and sci-fi movies and that, you know, it could have been the end of it right there. But no, he was able to capture, you know, those great characters right off the bat and make people believe, you know, that they were, you know, real droids and robots that were.
And speaking of
Off
R2
this
and C-3PO, their little cameo.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good. I was. Really
I
happy to
actually,
see that.
that's the one part where I thought they were almost out of place.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And the only reason why I say that was because, what's his Antilles? No, not Antilles.
Ando.
Ando.
Mhm.
He goes off to go get Leia. Well, they're supposed to be on the ship already.
Yeah.
right? And so why are they still at the base? Like,
Yeah.
that's and if they're at the base, why is R2 not on a ship?
Yeah,
He's an astromech.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just things like that, whereas that was fan service, and I appreciate them putting it in, but at the same time, it probably wasn't necessary.
No.
I could have held off until the very end to see those.
Maybe not necessary, but I still thought it was pretty cool. I like
Yeah.
seeing them. You knew that you had to see them somewhere in there because of they were in every movie, right? Like it's
They were in every movie, right? So you have
you gotta get them in there
you gotta
somewhere.
put 'em
And
in
they
there.
play a big part too, right after that battle and stuff like that, of course, right? So
Yeah.
set them up for just, I guess, being in the universe pretty much. Right?
No, it was fantastic.
How about that? Oh, Vader's entrance at the end. Wow.
What a badass.
Oh my
So
God,
good.
yes.
So
And I
good.
was so happy too that they stuck true to the Vader lightsaber style from A New Hope, that we didn't like see like
Over flashy.
Anakin over flashy spinning around,
No.
just like just straight brutality, like, and just like
When he takes
lightsaber
that
came
one
on.
soldier, smashes him into the roof and holds him there.
Yeah.
Holds him there, throws another
Yeah.
one, like pulls the guns, blocks shots with his hands.
Yeah.
And then when he goes to the door and he like cuts through the door and cuts the guy while he's throwing the door open, it was Vader at his best, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was
We're lost
telling
in there.
I was telling Ron, I was really worried because it shows the guy standing there, and then it shows the darkness, right? And then you hear the breathing. And in my mind, I was going, if you cut it off to the credits right now, I'm gonna leave this movie so disappointed. And then that's when that saber ignites and he's standing there, and I'm like, because they said, I was pretty sure somewhere someone from the movie said there's no lightsabers, there's no Jedi or Sith or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but they gave it to us at the end. And you know what, as much as we can get away from Star Wars, as far as like the Jedi mythos and like the Sith aspects of it,
Yeah.
you always need a little bit of that is Star Wars. It's part of it, like the droids,
Gotta
like
be some
the
lightsabers.
battles, right? And just having that at the end was a nice little cherry on that very nice cake.
Yeah, like you get all the other stuff. You get this amazing war movie that is still, like, again, they talk about kyber saber crystals.
Mhm.
They talk a lot about the Force.
Mhm.
You don't get the Jedi. You don't get people wielding lightsabers, and you don't get people using the Force.
Yeah.
But at the very end, they give it to you, which is, I really loved that.
Because you don't take it, they didn't take away from the struggle of the rebels and against the Empire, which is what
Yes.
that movie was about. They gave it to you at the end. It wasn't at a place, but it also didn't overshadow the rest of these heroes. Like, Donnie Yen's character, I keep forgetting his name as well. Like, he keeps talking about the Force, like, and everyone's looking at him like, really? And he's like, no, I believe in it and it'll protect me. And it'd just be so horrible if he's running around like that, like just believing in something that he can't fully grasp. And then Vader comes in and starts grabbing people. It would have completely pulled everything away from what made Donnie Yen's character so special. So they didn't. They left it all alone until the very end.
Yeah.
I really loved our bad guy in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love his aspirations.
Mhm.
I love
Don't
how he was going for the top.
Yeah.
Like that was
Let's say the actor Ben Mendelsohn that they got to play that character was a great pick because he is a really good character actor and he just fit in so well.
yeah.
And then he was a good bad guy.
Yeah.
I almost feel like Vader's scene where he turns around and chokes him and then tells him, don't choke on your aspirations. Because Vader has always showed these like little glimpses that there's something human to him, that he's not fully bad like Palpatine. I almost feel like Vader was actually warning him, like in the Vader comics, if you read that, like the extended universe stuff,
Yeah.
really shows how much strife Vader even went through, like about people trying to do stuff behind his back with his power aspirations as well. And I think that was actually a genuine warning from Vader, and Vader using his Force and physically showing him, like, be careful because you're on the rise, but you can be squished like a bug at any moment, right?
Well,
When-
he was just in the wrong place at the wrong
Yeah.
time.
Well,
Totally.
a lot of if you look through the Star Wars, while Vader's in power, right? If you're at the top,
a lot of people are gunning for you.
Mhm.
Your people are gunning for you, and you have a high chance of not living.
Absolutely.
How many times have commanders and like all them died
Just for displeasing.
just for
Vader.
displeasing Vader?
Because
Mhm.
he had to portray that. It was just like to keep people in line, like to keep people afraid of him and not trying to do anything behind his back. Or there's like, man, like the guy just like came out of hyperspace to really Vader choked him. Like he's like Vader
Yeah.
not do anything. Like
Yeah.
yeah, no, Vader's a badass. Like he's and he showed like where that the beginning of that there because he tore things apart in
Mhm.
that hallway. Which makes you think, though, in A New Hope, why he sent all those stormtroopers in the hallway first. He
Yeah.
went by himself. But we don't want to think about that too much. That just starts
I
off
think-
all kinds of trouble.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It still shows the might of the Empire. When you-
No, and it was really neat to see, that kind of universe where the Empire was just, kind of fresh and new and at the height of its power. And
Well, it was definitely at the height of its power because I mean, you look at it, you look at all the people and how many people it would have taken to build that Death Star,
like,
and nobody said anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Nobody said anything to anybody. No transmissions got out. No, they were so tight.
Yeah.
And the arrogance. I love the arrogance of the Empire in the movie to put all their information in one spot.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're
because
like-
they're like, no one's gonna.
Who's gonna take this out? Right?
Mhm. No, absolutely.
Nobody's gonna take this out.
yeah.
They can't get in. They can't there's
Yeah.
only one way in through this little hole, and nobody's gonna get in.
Yeah.
So why just put it all here? It's safe.
Yeah, no, I know that, and that's basically the big bad guy arrogance all the time. It's classic in movies, right?
It's classic in movies, but you got this on a galactic scale,
Yeah.
which makes it so much
Yeah,
better.
like the whole universe, and it's just like, we're good, we got it covered. Yeah,
And even the chief security officer, like where they're sending that false information about, these different areas around that base, and he's running around and he's got that look of what is going on here? Like
Yeah.
I've lost complete
There's-
control.
There's explosions going on, and it's silent in that comm room.
yeah.
So,
They were just like,
What is happening?
How
Like
could
this
this happen?
this is not right.
And they don't even do anything until the security officer turns around and is like, "What are you guys doing?
Move!
Like, do something!" Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought of it. Yeah, like totally, just like,
They were shocked,
Yeah.
because it's like something that's not supposed to happen. Right?
how could they out there?
Well,
how
These
is-
attack is here?
They're literally like these imperial officers where they're literally the security guard in the booth drinking his coffee and having his donut when everything explodes, and he's like, I don't even know what to do because my life has always been so easy here.
Never changes
Yeah.
day to day.
Yeah.
Like there will never be an attack here. There will,
Exactly.
that is the essential arrogance of the Empire.
Mhm.
Whereas normally you'd think, let's have all of our information here. Maybe we should be prepared for anything.
Yeah.
At all times.
Yeah.
No, that's and that's I think the rebels took advantage and I like how they improvised a way to take out the gate or whatever for the
Using the
for
Hammerhead
Force Code.
Corvette.
the Hammerhead Corvette and crashing the two Star Destroyers together. That was pretty awesome to watch, man. And again, that's the arrogance or whatever, like you're saying, of the Empire, because that Star Destroyer just sat there for the longest time before it was like, hey, somebody better do something. Like, let's move out of the way here.
Yeah.
Well, they shot the one and shut its power down.
Yeah.
Right. Like they took the ion and they was like,
And-
oh, look at that! That actually worked.
Yeah.
Which comes later on in episode 5, right? Like,
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back, right? So it's great to see those little things
Mhm.
pop up in this movie, and I really did appreciate.
Even the weakness of the Death Star, because everyone, when they talk about the old movies, are like, why would they build something with such an easy weakness? And this movie explains it because it was put there
It was-
on purpose.
it was on purpose.
Yeah.
They're like, this is an exhaust port, right? So it's supposed to be blowing air out,
Mhm.
but it's not.
Yeah.
It's actually not an exhaust port. It is just a hole for you to shoot things down.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I loved how that wasn't disregarded or unnoticed. Like they were like, this is why
It
that
is
was there.
so small on this big this big thing that it's insignificant to the Empire. No one's gonna find it.
So they would overlook it.
They would overlook it,
Yeah.
and I love it. Like I love that. It's just so great.
No, they did a really good job of, like, like everyone's, like all along they've been saying it's a Star Wars story, it's a standalone story, it's not a sequel, it's not a prequel. BS. That was a prequel.
It was a prequel, and it was a really well done
Mhm,
prequel.
absolutely.
Like everyone's saying with episode 3.5. Like it's right in the middle there.
I don't know, because of where it ended, it may have started in the middle. I kind of said it was like episode 3.95.
Yeah,
Because
right.
it was like right
It's
there.
It is running right into episode 4. I mean, even between 4 and 5, and between 5 and 6,
There's time.
there's time in between each one of those. There is no time in between
Yeah, it just
Rogue
jumps right
One
off.
and
Yeah.
and
episode
and
4.
and
New
New
Hope.
Hope,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great.
So yeah. So you guys' final thoughts?
Empire Strikes Back, still my favorite
Yeah. So
Star Wars movie, but I gotta see it a few more times. But I'm honestly think that Rogue One might be the best of the bunch, like the best movie of the bunch. Like it was so well done, start to finish. There's no romantic story interest that you got to deal with or side things or not. You just got a straight action adventure story that was just fun from beginning to end.
I would say the same thing. I would say, in my opinion, it is the best Star Wars movie because it doesn't stray from what it needs to be, and it's also the best one, in my opinion, that you can invite and bring someone into that Star Wars fold. I think everyone kind of sometimes has a different opinion of their favorite Star Wars movie, because I think everyone likes an aspect of it. Like for me, it's bad. I know this is going to sound bad. I really love Revenge of the Sith. I hate the story. I think it's poorly acted, but Palpatine is my favorite character, and the movie really portrays Palpatine, so that's why it really drug me in. But overall, this is the best Star Wars movie.
How about you, Hunter?
What do you think, bud?
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Like, really, I think that Force Awakens and Rogue One are like the best ones, because it's just straight up action
Yeah, you like that?
and like, yeah, and also the droid was really funny in the movie.
Yeah,
like,
you like that droid, didn't you?
yeah.
Cool. And who's your favorite Star Wars guy?
Jin and the Death Trooper.
You like them, eh? No more Kylo Ren now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
I really did like the what's it called, the Death Troopers, and how you don't hear what they're saying because they got the encrypted comms on
Mhm.
them. I really did love
Mhm.
that touch. Like
Yeah.
you can hear everybody else talking, but those Death Troopers are special.
Yeah.
Right. Which I found really just a nice touch.
Yeah.
They obviously got, whether like the special forces, Marines, they definitely, I think, had to have gotten some actual like military advice on this movie, because there was little subtle touches like that, like encrypted comms and the communication and the babble over the radios that I think they definitely got some kind of actual war advice.
Consulting.
Yeah, consulting,
Yeah.
exactly. That's a good word.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming out.
Oh, thanks for having
This
us.
was
Yeah.
fantastic.
this is awesome.
It was nice to be able to talk to some people about a little bit more about the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I guess I should probably put my final thoughts in here as well. I really did find this a great movie. I am not 100% sure if I'm sold on it being up there. I think it's up there, but I don't think it's next to Episode 5
Mhm.
quite yet. I'll have to see it a few more times. I think there may be some times where I'm like, but I think overall I did like how they stuck to what they wanted the vision of the movie to be. I think it was fantastic. I think everyone should go out and watch this movie. And if you've already seen it, you should be watching this. Then if you haven't, then I
See it again.
apologize. Yeah.
And again.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
this is great, and I want to thank everybody out there for watching this edition of the Northern Nerd, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Sounds good.